Dr. Danielle Saenz here again, and I'm here with Walter with Ottobock, and we're going to go over the anatomy of a prosthetic. Specifically, what we have here is a prosthetic for someone who is an above-the-knee amputation, and let's go over all the different parts. So Walter, where should we start? What do we have in this part?
The upper part of the prosthetics we call the socket. And the socket it's the most very important part of the prosthetics because people go there in with the stump and we have to fit, the fit must be fit very tight so the prosthetics stays on the...
Okay, so the next part that we want to talk about is how does the prosthetic actually stay attached? Now this particular part has something called a suction mechanism. Tell us, Walter, how does that work?
This socket has a mechanism and it creates a vacuum in the socket. When you go in with stump, the membrane inside the socket closes in on the skin, and then we have a valve. And then when you go in with the stump, pushes out the air, and then we have a vacuum. The prosthetic stays on the patient.
And then there won't be any movement of the limb within inside the socket based on that. So the next part underneath the socket is the liner. And tell us, Walter, why is the liner important?
The liner is important because some people can't stand the socket directly on the skin. And then we put the liner on the stump, so the stump is protected. And it's much easier for the person to wear the prosthetics.
Right. Okay, so the next part of the prosthetic we're going to talk about is the knee. Now this is a particularly specific prosthetic because it's used for skiing. So Walter, tell us about what's happening right here.
The knee is for skiing. And we have a large piston inside of the knee. And when you are skiing, it's bouncing. So when you are uphill, downhill.
So that the skier can manage variable types of terrain and forces. So then after we get through the knee, which is helpful for bending while you're skiing, we're going to move into the ankle. So tell us about what's happening here.
The ankle of the foot, we call this the foot. And in the foot we have an ankle, and the ankle is also fitted with a piston, just like the knee. And it also can bounce and adjust on the ground. And when we look you can see the bindings for the ski, so we can click on the...
So you just click right into your bindings and you ski down the hill?
Yes.